Hi, this is Vlad,
Hi, it's Mitra.
and we're the realtors here in Toronto, Ontario.
We would like to talk about the Toronto Real Estate Board market stats in May of 2019 and give you an update.
Everybody wants to know whether the market is trending up, trending down, or just simply staying flat so they can make decisions to buy or to sell. All of that is coming up.
Stay tuned.
So to kick things off, where do you see the market is trending in the month of May based on the report?
It's been a great, year-to-date run we had. When we look at the market stats, we do see that the sale prices have increased from, January of 2019. The sale prices were about 748 and now we are at 839, which is still lower than May of 2017, but great run year to date.
It's interesting. It seems that there is definitely a seasonal increase that is quite noticeable, but I'm wondering if it has to do with the spring market, which is traditionally very strong every year, even in the down market, or it's reflective of the market trend, that the market conditions are improving, the market is becoming more solid, days in the market are decreasing, and the market is stabilizing. What do you think?
So the fact that definitely historically we do see from January to May the prices are increasing. So that's a great news that we are literally right now we are stabilizing rather than being in a mindset of okay, prices are going to crash again, it's going to go farther down. So the fact that the market dynamic is the same as a healthy market, I think is a definitely great place to be.
Yeah, exactly. We are actually 2 years after the OFC instituted the new regulations for mortgage approval, so people have accepted that as a new reality, and that's no longer affecting the prices to the degree that it was, say, 2 years ago. And we're seeing days in the market are stabilizing as well, right? They're decreasing too, and the overall balance in terms of the inventory versus sales, that's becoming healthy as well. So I do agree that of course there is a seasonal component, but at the same time, we see that the overall trend in the market is towards stabilization.
Absolutely. With really what we notice also, the interest rate stays low, which is great. We do see immigration is strong. The economy is strong. So with all those points, and the demand and supply issues has not been solved. There are people who wants to buy. They need shelters. So when they cannot, it's definitely clear that the mortgage qualification is more difficult. They are willing to pay even higher rents because they need shelter.
Exactly, and that's interesting. One of the things that the sellers in particular are thinking about, it's not only do I sell now, can I get the price that I want, but also the secondary consideration, and in some cases it's the primary. Where do I go, right? The supply is still low. There aren't that many options that people have, and when they're looking around for where they can move, they are often discouraged because there isn't really a lot of options for them, right?
True.
Okay.
The supply and demand is definitely still an issue.
Okay. Interesting. You mentioned earlier that you believe that the interest rates are not going to go up. Is that something that you firmly believe in, and what are the reasons for that?
Of course, we don't have a crystal ball. I truly do not believe that the interest rate is going to be increased in 2019. The housing is still the heart of the Canadian economy, and there is they are doing everything with the election that is coming. I really don't see that they would increase the interest rate in 2019.
Okay, so I also figure that it will likely stay the same for a variety of reasons. Of course, the federal election in October is impacting everyone's decision making, from the federal government to the provincial government to us as individuals as well, right? In terms of how we act and when we act. And there's a bit of uncertainty coming in with the election as well. Specifically, uncertainty as it relates or may relate to the real estate market.
Yeah, of course. There are things that we are in control of, things that we cannot control. So what I know, if there are buyers who really want to make a move, really they need to see what are the creative planning they can really reach out to that would help them to become a homeowner now when the interest rate is low. The price has gone down tremendously. Year over year, we had about 3.5% price increase. However, in 905, or for mainly freehold detached homes, the price is still down by about 20-25% in certain area. So if someone wants to invest, wants to really become a homeowner, that's an amazing time. Low interest rate, low pricing, still low pricing, and that's the amazing time to maximize the return on their equity, 5-7 years from now.
Yeah, that brings us to a very interesting point, in my opinion, in that so if somebody's looking at the market stats, the increase year over year across the board for all the property types mixed together was approximately 3%,
Yes,
right?
uh-huh.
The inflation rate currently is at about 2%. So we're talking about an absolutely minimal increase in absolute numbers. Now, when somebody is thinking about buying for the first time, entering the market for the first time, that statistic really does very little for them in terms of how do they project what the appreciation where they are thinking about buying is going to be like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. For example, 905 has decreased over the last few years by as much as 30% in some cases, right? 905 area codes. Some neighborhoods in Toronto with detached houses are flat and they're close to zero. In some places, the condo markets are appreciating by as much as 13%. So how do you spot those hot pockets where properties are appreciating aggressively and try to buy in those pockets as opposed to making a mistake and buying somewhere the prices are going to be stagnant?
Great question.
I know.
That's why it's so important to team up with, for advisors.
Exactly.
Expert advisors that they can help potential buyers not only to choose the right area, but to have the right financing, right legal advice, that they can make a decision that would never regret.
Okay, so you do believe that there are strategies for picking out the right
Absolutely.
pockets and the right property type so
Absolutely.
it continues appreciating over time.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. And those strategies, would they specifically be targeting first-time home buyers or a wider buyer group?
Wider buyer group, even empty nesters. If, for example, someone is thinking of downsizing, making a move to a condo, and we know that the condo pricing are increasing in certain areas more than another, so I do not anticipate that the prices, for example, for condo downtown properties are going to decrease. We are another New York City, and so prices are still affordable, still lower than certain dynamic cities. And then if they want to really make that move, they rather move now than 2-3 years from now that they definitely can afford. We do see clients that actually not even downtown Toronto. We do have clients that they want to go even to Kingston City. So even buying a condo, a property in Kingston City, when 2 years ago was possible, now it's not affordable for them. So sooner you act, better it is.
Okay,
That's
so
what I see.
okay, fair enough, and I do believe in that as well. So now let's flip the coin and say you're a seller. How do you feel about having to sell now versus waiting? What would the strategies be again? If you are in a position to kind of ride this market out and wait with the sale process for 3 to 5 years, are you better off waiting or acting now? And also, if your time frame is shorter, if say your consideration is that you plan to downsize and move into a smaller home within the next year, are you better off selling now or closer to that 1 year target date?
It's about the motivation, Vlad. In fact, we know that if, let's say, someone wants to make a move within a year, they rather act now, benefit from a very dynamic, healthy, seasonal real estate market that we are at. If somebody can afford to keep their home for another 5 years, another 10 years, and still invest in real estate, then great. But if they really need to sell and they really want to move on with their life, the same rule would apply anyway. You want to sell low, buy low. More you wait, more the gap can increase. So it all depends on the motivation of the sellers. I would say that if anyone wants to really sell within a year, they need to really be very present to the seasonality of the market. The fact that we are still having huge demand for kind of properties in certain areas more than others that they could benefit from.
Great points. It seems to me that this is a constant argument of, specifically with respect to the GTA market, the longer you wait, the more money you gain, right, through increasing your equity, both through paying off the mortgage and through the market appreciation. So if you are to wait for 5 or 10 or 15 more years, of course, the equity in your home and the prices for the home are going to go up. However, if your time frame is shorter, I'm in absolute agreement that seasonality is very important. If you're thinking about a year time frame, most likely the worst of what we've seen in the past 5 years or 3 years in the marketplace is kind of over. The market is stabilizing. And if you're thinking about a time frame of the next 12 months, pay attention to the season you're in. Don't be selling in the months of August and December, for instance, right? This is not where you fetch the highest price for your house. If you're a buyer, however, that's the great opportunity to buy specifically during those periods of time because the market is just seasonally slowing down.
And not only that, whoever wants to downsize, they need to really be mindful that the prices of cheaper homes, smaller homes, is not really decreasing at the same level of bigger homes. So the gap, that's what I was saying, that the gap becomes bigger and bigger. Their home, if let's say is over $1 million, and if they do think that by waiting 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that would be better for them. Their home price would increase, but it doesn't mean that the home that they're going to downsize to is going to increase at the same rate. Could increase at a much higher rate and would really not be wise for them.
Again, going back to your previous point, talking to somebody who's on court, playing every day, a professional in the marketplace, who can give you guys a solid advice in terms of what's going on, what the trends are, and what the different strategies are for making the right move, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, is very, very important. So there you have it, right? So this is kind of a quick commentary on the market report. If you guys have any comments, please post them in the section below. We're going to be coming out with this sort of content every week. We'd love to have you as a subscriber, so please hit the subscribe button down on the bottom and notification ring, a notification bell in this case. That's about it.
Yep. Have a great day, guys. See you next week.
Great.